Good morning, everybody. Tiffany here at Dragonflyer Studios. I am going to do a how-to video on faux rice paper. You may have seen some of these done before, but I figure I'd give my hand at it, and if I can offer any advice or anything else like that, then you know, why not? So what I have here is cereal bag insert or cereal box inserts. This is the bags that come out of cereal boxes. It is the best thing that I have found to do this on. I've tried parchment paper. It sticks to that. Don't do that. I've tried wax paper. It will peel off. However, it's a bit of a chore. This, it just peels right off of, no fuss, no muss. So let's get started. So what I have here is appropriately so dragonflies on a napkin. This is just a regular 2-ply cocktail napkin. You gotta be careful. I do take this and peel this off. This one apparently looks like it's not 1, not 2, but 3-ply. So what you really want to do is get it down to just that top layer of napkin. The thinner the better. I haven't tried it with all 3-plies. I may do that and see what the effect is. I'll do a video on that one too. Oh, I got a little rip, but don't worry about it. That will all come out in the end. And then I save these for cleaning out paintbrushes. And I mean, you know, if you're a junk journaler, you know, don't throw stuff away. We save everything. So then I just lay it down and kind of smooth it out on top of my I don't even know what to call that, my layer. Okay, so this is the little cup that I use. It's just got Elmer's school glue in it. This is what I've been using. It's nothing special. It's just what they call, I think it's PVA glue. You can buy special PVA glue, but I looked it up and it's just liquid white glue is all it is. So I just start by squeezing a good amount into my little container there. And then what I do is I come along and I just water it down. So I just have my drinking cup here, so I'm just gonna pull some water out. There's no rhyme or reason, you know, like ratio or whatever. There might be a science to it, and I'm just winging it for no apparent reason. But this is how I do it. So I figured I'd show you how I do it, and then you can go to town and do you. So I've got my glue brush over here. It's just a wide 1-inch brush. Nothing fancy, nothing special. I think it came from the Dollar Tree. Definitely a brush that, should the glue dry up, you know, no big deal. So then I just mix the glue and the water together, get a pretty good consistency. This does sit on my desk, so right now I'm in the rice paper making mode. I only have one of these sheets, so I have to wait for one sheet to dry before I can move on. At the end of this video, I'll show you some things that I've created with my faux rice papers. I've got several different napkin designs. I do napkin swaps with a couple different Facebook groups, so my stash is always changing, always a bit different. I do have my favorites that I order from Amazon. Okay, so you want it kind of watery, but not so much so that when you put, you'll know. I've ruined a couple of napkins. It was too watery, and the minute the water hits this, the brush is just going to tear it because this is really, really thin. So I just set my cup down. You want to work from the center out. You will see the napkin probably stretch out a little bit, but that's okay. So what I do is I just get a nice layer of glue on my brush, as you can see. I hope you can see that. And then I just start in the middle, down and out, down and out. And then the minute that the paintbrush starts to drag, go get more glue. You don't want the paintbrush to be the instrument of destruction for your napkin. I do have an AC running in here with a ceiling fan. If it's awfully breezy or whatnot in your area, your craft area, you might want to turn those down just so it doesn't blow your napkin around, at least until you get it pretty well slathered with glue. And then I just take mine all the way to the edge. What you don't want is your brush to get too dry, because then that's when it starts to pull on the napkin fibers, and it really will destroy your project right before your eyes. Now, if you get a tear, which I have over here, I'm going to show you how to fix that. Or if you develop a hole, Unless it's a big hole and you're worried about it destroying the pattern or the design on your napkin, just leave the holes. They add character. I like them. I work around them. I usually will sometimes stamp over them. You know, but if you should get too big of a hole, you can push it back together. The glue, once it dries, you know how we used to peel glue off our hands? Look, I still have ink and stuff on my hands. You know how we used to put Elmer's glue on our hands? Okay, so here's this tear. So I'm just going to go over it, and I'm just going to brush the two edges of the tear together. And there, tear no more. Now, when it's all said and done, that little tear will show up as a little bit of a thicker part of the napkin, but it's okay, because this is faux rice paper. It's supposed to be a little wrinkly, a little crinkly, not perfect by any means, not smooth. It will be smoother on the side that's down to the plastic than it is on the side that sticks up, because as I'm brushing this, you may or may not be able to see in the camera, I'm not sure, there are ripples, and like right there, that's a little ripple in the napkin, just a natural part of the brushing process. And it's cool because the rice paper look is going to be somewhat see-through. You can already see my mat, the stripes of my mat, through the napkin and the plastic that it sits on. So that's kind of what you're going for. We want it to be see-through. We want it to be, not opaque, but also it won't be 100% transparent. So I just go around my edges a little extra with some extra glue, because they're the part that's going to get peeled off first, and I want to make sure that they're good and moistened down. Ugh, I hate that word. That they're good and damp. There we go. They're good and damp. Okay, so there's that. That's all done. It's not a perfect square like it started out to be. It's a little warped and a little ragged around the edges. That's okay. So I just set my glue over there, and I put my brush back in my water cup, and this will go over on my little drying shelf that's on the back side of my studio. It's in front of a window, in front of the AC unit. It'll take a few hours to dry, and then once it's dry, we're going to pull this off. I'm going to set it over here. Get it out of the way. There we go. Oh, sorry, Atlas. Alright, and then this is a page that I made last night. Different pattern, different color. I was kind of curious as to how the yellow would come out. It is, as you can tell, somewhat see-through, but definitely not see-through enough that, let's see, do I have something with text on it? Like, oh, maybe. You'd have to try really hard to read that, but you can see through it. So I'm thinking maybe this might go on some journaling cards, but here's what I was talking about, is this side is dull and matte, and let's see if I can get it to translate on the camera. Maybe, maybe not. There are ridges where the paper has ruffled, and then this side is shiny because it was down to the plastic, and the Elmer's glue has been allowed to gloss. So one side is matte, one side is shiny. You can definitely tell what side the ink is on, you know, when you fold it over. The ink shows up better here than it does on this side, but you could use that to your advantage when making pockets. You know, you could turn this into a really cool looking pocket one way or the other, or maybe put it as a page in a junk journal. You know, you could fold it over. This particular napkin size is, what do we got? 10 by, excuse me, now I have the hiccups. 10 by 11, no, 10 by 10 roughly, and it did stretch out a little bit. It started out as a square. So but yeah, there's that. And then I've actually done some other ones, and I wanted to show you what I turned those into. I'm especially proud of these ones. So this was just a little French napkin that I had. I did the rice paper treatment on it, and then I just added a manila envelope, punched some holes, gave it some little tags and some eyelets. So those will be journaling cards and tags for my stuff that I do. And then this was another napkin that I did, and I just used index cards here. So it's got lines on it. These are going to be journaling cards. I'm not going to punch holes in these, I don't believe. And then I'm going to use these as journaling cards for some of my works. And then, you know, around here, scraps are worth their weight in gold. So with the excess of this manila folder and the excess cutoffs of this napkin, I created these little guys. And I think I'm going to see about adding some Mod Podge maybe to these. to give them some different effects. I think I might turn these ones into tags. I'm not sure yet, but there you have it. So with just a little bit of time, some Elmer's glue, a napkin, some cardstock, index cards, whatever you have laying around really will work. I don't know what this would look like on maybe some construction paper or something like that, but I'm going to give it a try, and I'll be back to show you the results of that when my dragonfly paper gets good and dry. I'm going to come back. I've got some ideas for some cards that I want to make. I'm working on little tiny insert notebooks for my junk journals that I make and sell. So yeah, if you like what you see, give me a subscribe, give me a follow, give me a like. You know, share it with a friend if somebody's been struggling with this, or maybe looking for some new craft ideas or new ways to embellish their work. Anyway, this is Tiffany from Dragonfly Studio. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye.